So if the budget doesn't give your household the kind of financial help it might need, you might be wondering, what else can you do? Well, we all want to keep cutting our spending when times are tough, but it can't go on forever. And it's estimated that even more Australians are living paycheck to paycheck at the moment. So any extra cash that we get in next week's budget might be the breathing room that families need to weather the current economic storm. But if you think it would help if your boss allowed you to get access to your earned wages ahead of payday, well, this is for you. Could that help you meet more of your bills on time? What about getting ahead of your mortgage repayments? It's an interesting idea, and it's called earned wage access. And that's an idea that's being explored by Paytime, a sponsor here on Money News. CEO Stephen Furman is with me now. Stephen, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Deb. Thanks for being here.
So it's true, budgets, they're tighter than ever, but you really see this earned wage access as a transition or a bridge, really, for those who might need it. How does it work?
Yes, that's right. Over 50% of Australians are already living paycheck to paycheck. And unfortunately, day-to-day expenses don't wait for payday. So essentially, our solution plugs seamlessly into payroll software of companies in order to allow staff members to access a portion of their after-tax earnings at any time in the month, should they need it for either unexpected expenses that crop up, or if they would like to access their money more regularly and put it into their mortgage offset account to save on fees and charges.
And that mortgage situation, that's the one that really comes to mind, particularly with the fears about interest rates. Accessing the money that you've earned before payday could help boost offset accounts, really. Ultimately would cost less in interest. Is that the whole premise?
Yes, exactly. I mean, if we think about it in a crude way, we all work every day. And we're effectively actually giving a free, interest-free loan to businesses by only getting paid either once a week, fortnightly or monthly. So essentially what this allows individuals to do is access the money that is actually already theirs, to put it into their mortgages and save on fees and charges.
And we know that you can see the benefits to workers, but what would be the benefits to a company to take this system up?
Yeah, very interesting. So our evidence across our client base, and we've been in market now for about 3 years, we're seeing big reductions in staff turnover rates. So across our client base, we're seeing over 20% reduction in staff turnover rates. And the reason for that is staff are no longer shopping around for an extra $5 or $10 or $15 an hour. And for those businesses that employ frontline shift workers, when shifts become available and companies say to their staff, look, we've got a shift available tomorrow for 5 hours, who would like to work that extra shift? People are actually putting in about 20% more hours because they know straight after that shift they can access a portion of their money. So when they have that unexpected expense, the car's broken down, the child needs some money for, you need some money for your child's medical expenses, you put in the extra shifts and you no longer need to have to actually go get a payday loan, buy now, pay later, or put it on the credit card.
And does it complicate the payroll systems?
No, not at all. It's a completely seamless integration, and we are actually live in businesses within 3 to 5 weeks. So there's no extra work whatsoever for payroll, and we do all the heavy lifting in terms of the seamless integration.
And how many people are taking it up?
We've got tens of thousands of users already. Across our client base, we're seeing between 30 and 50% of employees using it between 2 and 3 times a month. And it's really, when we've interviewed users, we've actually asked them, why do you use it? Because for us, the key thing is making sure that it's not used, for gambling or pokies or the wrong reasons. And pretty much every single user has said it's simply to help them budget better, to cover those expenses, to put it into the mortgage. And because it's not a loan, we're not making anybody worse off because they are only accessing what they've already earned.
Well, that's it, earned wage access. And with the times being as tough as they are, I suppose that's driving a lot of that demand. But
Yeah.
just like we would warn people against pushing back their worries with credit cards or personal loans, is there a concern that getting early access to the cash might make it harder for people to restrict themselves when maybe that is the problem that's at the heart of it?
So, for companies that do have that concern, we do have several guardrails in place. So one is individuals can only access up to 50% of their earned pay. So on payday, they always come home with at least 50% if they've accessed everything. And then we also do have an ability where a company can say, look, we see the value in this, but we're really scared. We don't want our staff to use it every single day. So in that instance, they can actually restrict it to twice a month or 3 times a month. So it really is used for those, tough times when people do need it. And it's not just, used every single day.
So limitations you've got in place here.
Yeah, exactly. And just to add, although we've been in Australia for about 3 years, this solution has already been in America for 8 years and the UK for just over 5. And close to 80% of Fortune 500 companies, banks and government organisations now offer it overseas. So it's pretty much now becoming the norm across the world.
Because there has been a lot of concern about payday loans, about people,
Yes.
Getting in over their head and some of the percentage payouts that they have to then make up for, really hitting people hard. How do you alleviate concerns with this system?
Correct. So with our system, because it's not a loan whatsoever, there is no extra fees, charges, interest rates, etc. Whereas the other providers, there are a number of other providers in the market that call themselves pay on demand. In our view, those are just the same as a payday lender. They charge 5% of what an individual is accessing, and it is a B2C solution. So the company is not getting involved at all, and it's not based on actual earned wages. For our solution, there is no loan whatsoever.
Well, it's an interesting approach and one that it's good to get some information on. Stephen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Stephen Furman from the company Paytime with the idea of earned wage access.